Over the course of my own recovery and as a treatment provider now, I have seen hundreds, maybe thousands of individuals who have experienced this miracle of recovery, this psychic change, this shift in moment where they see the world and themselves and the universe through new lenses. And this shift happens on a regular basis. I literally have the backstage pass to the miracle show, and I'm here to tell you that your shift and your loved one's shift will happen, because I see it happen all the time. That shift that I experienced was the shift that God knew I needed, and He gave it to me right in time through the most unplanned and unpredicted circumstances. It was an experience that blindsided me, that no human person could give me. But when it happened, the individuals that loved me the most were there ready to help me. And let me take you to that moment. Let me tell you what happened. I was facing legal troubles. I was facing loss in my family, divorce, ultimately my freedom and my home. All of that was taken because of my choices that went along with the disease of addiction. All of those consequences mounted up, which leveled the playing field of wanting to change and not wanting to change. And so I was in this space of ambivalence. And this is common for anyone who is stuck in a rut of the same behavior that's destructive. Let me tell you what happened to me in that moment. I got a text message that says, "Lisa is pregnant. The baby's yours. Call me ASAP." The flood of emotions that came through my heart and mind at that point in time are difficult to explain. How can I become a dad? How can I provide for a child when I can't provide for myself? How can I rise up and become like my dad when I'm in and out of jail and I'm in and out of addiction and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stay sober this time? I decided to numb those feelings and avoid those feelings the entire pregnancy. So I'm sitting at a Mexican restaurant on a date one spring afternoon on May 8th of 2007. And then I get a phone call. And the voice on the other line says, "Jason, I want you to know that your son Nathan was born today. He looks like you. Do you want to meet him?" I learned that he was going to be in the hospital for 1 week because he had some respiratory problems, and so they needed to put him on oxygen, and they needed to keep him in the ICU. And so every single day I had this decision of, do I go and risk having emotions and connecting, or do I avoid it and just ignore the whole scene? I watched through that glass for 1 week as he fought for his life, as he fought for each breath. Seeing him fight brought those questions up to how can I fight like this? How can I change and become a birth father that he could be proud of? How can I rise up to this occasion so that he doesn't grow older and look back and think that his birth dad was a junkie and didn't love him and just gave him away or threw him away or whatever the thoughts might be, but to rise up as a birth dad and to change my life for him. There was a power beyond myself, beyond human power, that was allowing me to have this experience, because for the first time, I decided that I wanted to change for me, for Nate. For the first time, I wasn't doing it to get the courts off my back or to get to please my parents or to please my wife or to keep my job or to fix my finances. Like, for the first time, this was for me, for him. And the emotion that came, I decided to go down to my car and I pulled out a legal pad of paper and I began to write him a letter. Because I wasn't sure if I was going to see him again after the adoption. I wasn't sure if I would be in a place to see him. I wasn't sure if his adoptive parents, the Martins, would allow me to see him. I wasn't sure if I would even stay sober, but I knew I wanted to. And so I wrote him a letter and I made him some promises that I would turn my life around and that I would become the man that he would one day be proud of. And that if he would give me a chance to meet with him, that I could tell him why we decided to place him for adoption and that it was out of love. And one day meet with him and make amends to him. And that letter, that experience, is the moment where I moved from being ambivalent about change to being all in. And what's cool about that is I see him do that with everybody I know who's also experienced their moment, their miracle, their shift from external motivation to internal motivation. They all have unique stories like mine, but just different actors in different settings and different experiences. But the emotion is the same, and the desire is the same, and the miracle is the same. The one thing that I have learned along the way, and that's that we change at the speed of pain. It's so easy to focus on how far away we are from that change. But it happens more often than you would realize. That's the message that I have to offer anyone that is going through the throes of a dysfunctional family system caused by addiction, is that there is this experience that will happen. It will. And so get ready for it. And don't force it, but just allow it.